First question I have for Cade is Mitch Sherman from The Athletic.
Hey, Kate. Got a question for you about the importance for you in growing up around football. Obviously, you had that in your life, in your family, and I wonder, how you see that working for Luke McCaffrey. Obviously, he was around his brothers and his dad this offseason, maybe more than normal. Did you see him come back with a different approach, different mindset, and can you apply that to what you've experienced in your years growing up?
Yeah, I think growing up around football, it's a lot of competition between you and your siblings. Your dad, obviously his dad played too, so it's a lot of competition within the family. And I think that brings it onto the football field too. And I think he brought back that kind of competition aspect of it. So I really liked what I've seen from him. He's a great guy. He's played really, really well. And I'm happy to see that for him because I love the dude. But yeah, no, he brings a different mindset because he has so much energy, so much built up just passion for the game. So it's always fun to see him out there and play, and I love when he's out there with me.
Thanks. Stash is looking pretty incredible there.
Thank you very much.
24/7 Sports, Brian Christopherson.
Yeah, Kay, that's a good look. I wondered I know last season at the beginning was tough for you because you were ready to roll, and then you had the injury setbacks kind of back to back. When you went back and kind of unpacked that year and where you needed to go as a player, what was on your mind and your focus sort of this offseason to put you in the position you're in now?
Yeah, no, going back to last season, it was real tough because you have expectations that you want to meet before the season. So my expectation last season was to increase my production and increase my impact for the team to be able to help us win football games and to be able to put in all that work in the off season and then kind of get my season cut short and then have to play through a torn hamstring. It's tough, and it really hurt me. I was in a tough spot for a lot of the year trying to get back at it, but I worked hard this offseason to recover from that. Hamstrings feel great right now, and I'm just looking forward to be able to help our team win some football games this year, and I think I'll be able to do that.
Hail Varsity, Derek Peterson.
Hey, Cade. Okay, I was going to ask you about your Monday and Tuesday night football sessions that Austin Allen was telling us about Tuesday. But first, is the mustache like a response to Jack Stoll's the Stole It? Like, are you trying a thing? Like, where did this come from?
Usually it's a fall camp stash. So this season has been kind of a weird fall camp, kind of elongated. So my mustache is just growing and growing, and then I'll probably cut it come the first game. But I'm getting some people from the team telling me, no, keep it. So we'll see. Trust me, I don't think it looks good. I just think it's funny. I just wear it because it gets a little laugh from people here and there. But yeah, it's a fun little thing to have, I guess.
Incredible. Okay, so Austin Allen was telling us that you were having guys over for Monday nights and Tuesday nights, and you would have a whiteboard in your living room, and you'd be like going through stuff. Who was there? Why did you want to do this? Can you just talk to us about how this came to be?
Yeah, so it all started me just asking the guys because obviously there's some stuff we can go over in film, and we only have a certain amount of time allotted per week to go over different things. And there's different questions you can ask somebody when you're their player and they're doing the things, and then when they're a coach. So I kind of just hit up all the receivers and I said, hey, I am free any day. I am bored. I just play video games all day. Use my free time, please. I'm tired of doing this. Use my free time. Come over during the games. I can bring snacks. Come over and I'll just put a whiteboard up and we'll just explain plays. So Alante's been there. A bunch of young guys have been there. And it's really just me going over what I see on the field and how I attack defenses. And I think that when you understand a defense and their weaknesses and their strengths and where we're trying to hit different plays, it can help you run routes in terms of the timing and depth you have to be. So there's different ways to run routes. I just like to go over that with guys, and I love talking football, so it was a great little getaway for me to be able to talk to them, and I hope they've learned a lot from it. But yeah, I keep doing those. Whenever people hit me up, I've had guys after the first couple sessions, I kind of weaned away, and I said, all right, we'll see if they want to hit me up, and I've had guys hit me up every week to kind of go over and keep doing it. So I think they like it. I think they're learning a little something from it, but I enjoy it, and it's good to see guys wanting to learn.
Athlon Sports, Brandon Kavanaugh.
Yeah, I got to say, Derek did a great job of pretty much wiping out what I had. But hey, if my vote means anything, definitely keep the stash, man. Thanks. Stay healthy.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Channel 1011, Kevin Suits.
Hi, Kate. On the football field for you this fall camp, I mean, what specifically has allowed you to showcase your skill set? Because it seems almost every time we do interviews, somebody is giving you a shout out or the coaches are praising your improvement. What do you feel you've done that's allowed you to really stand out and showcase your skills?
Well, I think first and foremost, I mean, everyone always says it when they talk about me. I know the plays. I know what I'm doing. And I think that helps, especially with the young wide receiver room we have. A lot of guys are learning the playbook for the first time. A lot of guys were on scout team last year, aren't familiar with it. So I think me knowing the playbook immediately and being thrust into that leadership role when kind of everybody left was a big part of it. And then, so then I know what I'm doing, and then I've done a good job being able to make plays when my number's called this fall camp. And I think that comes with kind of a little bit of a culture reset we've had in the wide receiver room that me, Wando, Coach Lubick, and all the guys have done a really good job kind of setting. So I'm excited for that. We're not afraid to make plays. We're not afraid to mess up. That's a big thing. And I think another thing, too, is with Lubick here, it's a kind of a blank slate. And I think with a blank slate comes more confidence. I think I'm able to play with more confidence in the field. I think a lot of guys are not being afraid to fail. We preach that a lot. And I think that is becoming more of a tool for the wide receivers this whole year. And I'm really excited to show you all this season what the wide receivers have in store.
Lincoln Journal-Star, Parker Gabriel.
Hey, Kate, when did you sort of start to sense that it was your time to be a leader in this room? And was that a natural transition for you? Did you have to sort of work actively at developing that? Or I guess where do you sort of see yourself in that regard?
Yeah, I think after Coach Walters left and a lot of guys left the wide receiver room, it was kind of shaken down, and we're left with a lot of guys that have been here for a while. And I think I was kind of thrust in that role, but I think at the same time, too, I'm one of the oldest guys in the room now, which is weird to think. Last year, I was still one of the oldest guys in the room, and I wasn't even that old in regards to everybody else. So I think that I was kind of thrust into the role, but I think that it was more of a natural role because I think with a leader, you also have to be a teacher, and me knowing the offense and being able to teach these guys, they look to me as a leader already. And then I think I've done a good job just trickling down what Coach Lubick says to me to all the rest of the guys. And I'm really looking forward to new guys who are going to step up this year. It's going to be exciting. And I think we've done a good job resetting the culture.
Got time for 2 or 3 more for Kate. I'll get to what I can. Evan Bland, Omaha World Herald.
Hey, Cade. I know coaches last year especially talked a lot about you as being one of the better perimeter blockers on the team. I'm wondering if you could maybe kind of lay out what are the key points to doing that well, blocking on the perimeter, and how do you teach others to do it well?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the first thing in order to block is just a want to. You got to go out there and you can't be afraid to get run over to miss your block. It's a want to. It's the ability to go out there and say that I'm going to block this guy and he's not going to make the play. So I think that is the biggest thing when it comes to blocking. You can teach technique, you can teach long stride, short stride, strike and drive, which is what we teach, and all these different things. But the number one thing is just a want to, and it's a want to do your job no matter how it's going to help the team. I think we're doing a good job. Before we even did any hitting drills this year or blocking drills, I've already noticed a significant increase in our ability to block, which is really cool to see. And then now we're working on the technique of it, so getting low, striking with your hands, finishing the block, moving on contact. So it's all little pieces together, but the number one thing is a want to, and I think the wide receivers we have this year want to.
KETV, Andy Kendi.
Hey, Cade, what's the biggest adjustment and challenge going through camp and preparations, and now that you're kind of transitioning into game week? What's the biggest challenge you've had with the whole COVID stuff? And second question is, do you want to coach after you're done playing?
Okay, I'm going to answer the first one first. My memory's not all there, so you might have to repeat the second one. But the biggest challenge for me, I think, is just the uncertainty. I think at every step, there's been a level of uncertainty, whether if we're going to have a season, to how many games we're going to have, to how the season's going to look like to fans. I mean, there's been so much uncertainty through this whole process that it has been kind of tough to get mentally prepared for things. I say was the biggest thing for me was going from not having a season to thinking we're going to have a season to actually having one. And now all the progress is looking positive going forward. And I'm really excited about the season. So now it's easier to hone in mentally and know what we're going to attack this year. I think that was the biggest thing for me. And then going forward to coaching, I really do want to coach. the more and more that I'm thrust in this leadership role and have to teach these guys the offense, the more and more I realize how much I love the game of football and how much I can help other people learn the game. So I can't wait to coach after I'm done playing, as long as I can play, and then coaching somewhere. I think I'm going to be a good coach, and I hope I'm going to be able to help a lot of guys play football well.
Thanks, Kade. For the record, I'm on keep the stash.
We'll finish up today and with for Kade with Sam McHugh and Omaha World Herald.
Hey, Kade, thanks for doing this today. I respect your opinion as it relates to quarterbacks. I think you probably know a lot about it, in part because of your dad. I think in part because you know the offense really well. I'd like for you to break down for me just your perspective on Adrian and Luke and what they do well and what you appreciate about them specifically, their personalities, their leadership, their skill set.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're both very athletic guys, and that's always cool to see. Them roll out of the pocket, make plays. But I think the biggest thing this year that they've progressed on is being able to stay in the pocket and make those throws. They're difficult throws, and they're making them now. So I think that leap forward has been great to see, especially as a guy catching those footballs. It's been great to see. But I think they both took a step forward in being able to stay in the pocket and throw. Adrian's done a great job increasing on his deep ball accuracy, as well as being able to play all three levels of the passing game. I think Luke's done a great job coming in here and competing, pushing Adrian every single day, saying, hey, I'm coming, you better keep working. So Luke's done a great job being a great leader in that role. And I think that 1-2 punch that they both have is a great dynamic for our football team. It gives our defenses a ton of different good looks, which is awesome to see. And I think they can both bring something to the table.
That's interesting, the thought about the pocket. Have they been coached more by Verdue and by Lubick to kind of anchor themselves in that pocket so that the routes you guys are running stay the routes that you're running and you're not having to improvise as much?
Well, yeah, as many times as we can to get the ball out of their hands and be able to make plays downfield and be able for wideouts to make the plays, I think the better. But yeah, they're both super athletic dudes. To be able to not use that speed wouldn't be smart. So we're going to obviously use them on the ground. They're going to run. They're going to make great plays on their legs. But I think now they're staying in the pocket a little bit longer, trusting us with the passes. I think we've done a good job building that trust in the intermediate passing game to be able to open up the field a little bit for the running game and for them to run. So they've done a great job staying in the pocket a little bit longer. But yeah, they're both a great job of not only staying in the pocket, but knowing when to get out of it. I think that's the biggest key also between the two is knowing when to leave the pocket, and they both have that presence.
All right, thank you.